Mr. Wilkes, who sat in the public gallery, he made a short presentation about things like profit margin and turnover and footfall, a lot of things I didn't really understand. But what he was saying was parking charges increases have not been worked out properly. You can make the same increase in revenue by changing some of the different tariffs. And that cabinet meeting, I think, would have lasted 10-15 minutes less, would have been over much quicker if Mr. Woods had been allowed to speak before the two Tory councillors had a chance. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Trowmans. You know what, a bit quiet because I nearly missed you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, we hear that this council is supposed to be doing all these things for the town centre, but we see the list of companies leaving, big and small. The Labour group have proved time and again that they're deaf to the pleas of local residents, but surely they must accept that when national chains take an unprecedented step of criticising a local authority, Body Shop, New Look, BHS and all the rest of them, surely it's time to reconsider. Local Conservatives want to give traders, big and small, a boost, not a slap in the face with increased parking charges for a town centre that's already struggled. We want to give them a boost. We want to give the local economy a shot in the arm. That's why I'm proposing an amendment on behalf of the Conservative group to change the first 3 hours, Monday to Friday, to £1. That would be a significant cut. That would attract shoppers to Nuneaton and Bedworth. That would be at least comparable, if not better, than competing towns around us. And that would do our economy and our traders a power of good. And I would hope there would be cross-party support for that. Do you want me to just pass you over the amendment, or shall I read it out?
I'll second that until my right to speak.
It might be handy to have the words with you.
Yeah.
Catch up for you.
How can they complain about their manners and yet when he's talking, all they do is mutter?
Mr. Mayor, can I move the vote?
The vote for what?
Well, that's a definitely way to run a council, isn't it?
Just second for moving the vote.
Checking it, me.
Well, thank you. Didn't hear you.
You need to hit the amendment before you vote on it. Just pretend.
Right, we'll go straight to the vote on the amendment, which specifies.
The Constitution specifies there should be sufficient debate allowed before an amendment is moved straight to the vote. By any stretch of the imagination, any Oxford English dictionary definition, we have had no debate on this amendment.
I asked for debate, nobody indicated, so therefore I'm moving to the vote. And it's been moved at the vote you put. So I'm moving to. All right, let me get to it first. You haven't tell you in a minute. Well, I will. It statutorily specifies, save where charges supply, the tariffs to Monday to Friday should be amended to £1 for the first 3 hours. That was the amendment. Anybody wants to speak on that? No. Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At least we get some semblance of debate, at least on this side of the chamber, if not the other. Our town centres are crying out for regeneration, Mr. Mayor. If you look at the social forums, if you speak to people on the doorsteps, if you speak to people on the streets, they are saying that our town centres are declining. And this council needs to do something to provide a shot in the arm, to give that economic impetus, to get people, to get the footfall back into the town centre. If I remember the figure quoted by Mr. Wilkes correctly from his talk at Cabinet, he said almost 750,000 had declined in footfall in almost 5 years. I see it nodding from the gallery, so at least my memory is serving me correct. That is a shocking statistic, Mr. Mayor. 750,000 people lost from our town centres. And this council has a habit of relying on the same old answers but to completely new questions of the 21st century. We're in a bit of an economic rut. Let's put up car parking charges and hope we balance the books that way. That doesn't work. We need to provide a shot in the arm, a boost to our town centres. By the Bedworth members' office, it's an admission it affects many Nuneaton. You can get car parking almost virtually free in Bedworth, so it'll be predominantly Nuneaton residents who will be affected. by the proposed increases, although I accept there are people who use Nuneaton and Bedworth car parks. But to simply nod through a request to vote without democratic debate just goes to show how hollow and empty the Leader of the Council's words are when he says this is the most open democratic council in the county, if not the country. Those are hollow words. We could be doing so much more for our town centres, and if the council were to agree to this amendment, we could make a difference to our town centres, not kill it off. There is a decline, but under the Labour proposals, it could become a terminal decline. Mr. Wilkes offered to actually work with the council to restructure our car parking charges to our benefit. If I was sat in that chair over there, Mr. Mayor, I would snap his hand off, because he knows better than anyone else in this chamber how to run a car park, how to run a market, and the businesses he has behind him and the knowledge and contacts he has. This council isn't been open democratic, it's not supporting his town centres. In fact, Mr. Mayor, I would go so far as to call it a dereliction of duty, and I will support the amendment and call for a recorded vote. And in case you are on a recorded vote, it's so that you can be held accountable for your actions.
No. That was the right to reply on the amendment, so I'm going to go straight to the... Yes, he did.
No, I seconded it.
Second,
I
sorry.
proposed it, he seconded
I
it.
should have given Councillor Trowmans. Councillor Trowmans, you want to reply? Yeah, but this is what reply on the amendment. Councillor Harvey.
Mr. Mayor, I do try and follow the rules. I don't shout at people. I don't jab my finger across the chamber. I try always. You can smirk. I don't do that either. I try to behave properly. Even if I disagree with somebody, and that's what democracy is about, I try and listen to what they've got to say, put my hand up at the right time, and speak it in the appropriate manner, Mr. Mayor. And I would hope all of us would do that, because there was a time in this chamber when everybody did do that. And it's very sad that that seems to have gone, Mr. Mayor. In relation to the amendment, I want to speak to the amendment. That amendment would cause chaos. Only this afternoon, which is Wednesday, I came into the car park, and you'll realise, Mr. Mayor, along with everybody else, that not long ago we turned over the council car park to become a public car park so that people could stay here and just nip into town. It was something we'd actually negotiated with Marks, I tried to negotiate with Marks and Spencer's some time ago. We implemented it so people were very close to popping into town. This afternoon, it was almost impossible to park in that car park, and many of those people would have been coming in for 1 hour or 2 hours. Many of them for an hour, they just want to pop somewhere. But if you did this amendment of £1 for 3 hours, you would block up masses of the town centre with £1 parking for 3 hours. So it doesn't actually attract many more people in, because you can go from a free car park, let's say Asda, for 2 hours, move your car into another one for 3 hours, you've got 5 hours for £1, and the shoppers don't get anywhere near the shops.
Right, move to recorded vote.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will read out the names of each member in alphabetical order. We'll indicate if they are for or against this second amendment. Councillor Harvey. Councillor Bowman.
Against.
Councillor Bennett.
Against.
Councillor Bonner. Councillor Copland.
Against.
Councillor Doherty, apologies. Councillor Doughty.
Against.
Councillor Elliott.
Against.
Councillor Foster.